All right, good morning, YouTube. We're gonna try this out. This is our first time going live on YouTube, so I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this. We're gonna go through and cut in this new pattern using my swivel knife. One of the big common questions that I get is, what swivel knife am I using? So I'm just gonna show you this to start with. This is a leather wrangler's knife. I love this knife. It's a 3/8 inch barrel with a 1/4 inch blade on there, and it's easily became my favorite knife to use. The pattern that we're going to be cutting in, just to give you an idea of the finished look on that, that is going to be tooled out to look like this right here. But this is a new pattern out of my new volume 2 leather tooling pattern book. So you'll hear me talk about that stuff as we go along here. But this pattern, like you saw, it has a border that some of our tooling's going over, some of it's kind of tucked underneath. So the first thing I'm going to do is come through and cut that border first. And one thing to get a nice straight cut on that border is you almost lock your wrist, lock your elbow, and pull with your whole body and your whole arm there, rather than just trying to move your wrist. So that's going to be a little bit of a key to getting those nice straight cuts following your border line there. Run along here, get that entire border first. Then we'll come back and start working through our actual floral work on there. Now this belt, as we get down to the end, you'll notice that the tooling stops a little bit early. There's a little extra room out here. You'll see once we cut that in, and you can see the pattern transferred there. But this belt actually gets initials, so we're gonna hold off, wait to tool anything down there. That border's not gonna extend out that far right now. Flip that belt around, we'll come right down the other side of it. We're kind of playing around with the different platforms for these videos. It's been kind of fun doing them different places. So the most primarily the live videos I do on Facebook, and then any of you guys that follow us on here know that everything's been pre-recorded that gets transferred over here, and some of those lives that we do on Facebook have been transferred over. But I want to try going live on here and see how that was. See what kind of response we get, if that's something you guys like to see on here is the live videos, or prefer the pre-recorded, already done videos. But we messed around with live on Instagram yesterday. We've been starting to do a couple more of those, and shows have been kind of fun to do as well. And when I cut with that knife, I'm always wanting to pull cuts towards me, so I'm actually standing off here to the side of the camera, stay out of the way. But I wanted you to get the best view that we can, which I may even drop you down a little bit further here. Let me loosen this up. Whoop. Get you guys down a little bit closer to the action, kind of see what's happening on this knife. But I don't like to push that knife away because I can't see where it's going as well. I like to see where I'm going instead of where I've been. So I'm gonna always pull that knife towards me. Now, one thing you don't see me do very often if you follow my videos, but I need to do it more than I than I do probably, is just kind of strop that knife a little bit. So this right here, what we're gonna use is, it's what you would call a strop. It's just a scrap of leather with some jeweler's rouge or a buffing compound rubbed on the back of that. So when I do that, I want to really watch that angle of the blade. You can see right at the end there where that comes down to that tip. I want to watch that angle and make sure I'm pulling right straight along that and not rolling that knife up. Do one side and flip it over and do the other. Now it doesn't take much here, especially a really nice quality knife like this. And that's just going to polish that blade and keep that sliding nice and easy through your leather there. Oh, that feels really good there now. All right. Now, like I said, I want to be pulling these lines toward me. So as I move through this pattern, there's some of these lines that I'm going to be pulling through going this way, and I'm going to work my way down this belt, and then I'm going to flip it around and come back, because this vine work, I want to start out at the flowers or the leaves and be pulling those vines back so they fade out as they come back. So this vine work that's growing out this way, I'm going to catch that when I turn this belt around. So you'll notice here as we go through, there's going to be spots that I'm skipping, and that's why. And if you guys have any questions or comments or anything, be sure to just drop those in the comments. I'll try to keep an eye here at the end and see if I can scroll through. Like I say, this is our first time going live on YouTube, so getting the hang of it, but I would imagine I'd be able to see comments as they come in here. Hey, there we go. That Hunter's on here this morning. Oh, darn it. But let me see, I'm playing with this here. My comment went away here. Oh, there we go. I just had to push a button. Hey, now, good morning. Good morning. I see you guys' comments rolling in here. Okay, sorry, I'm trying to get this new thing figured out here. Every platform has its own deal. So Hunter, you just bought this knife too. Yeah, it's amazing. I love it. So leather anglers, they have lots of other different types of knives, kind of some really cool looking stuff. But when I got this knife, I had used a Barry King knife for years, and loved it, but I wasn't super adventurous when I stepped over and tried this leather wranglers. So I got one, you'll notice here, it looks almost identical to my Barry King. I got the same size barrel, same size blade, all that, but I wanted to get something that I was fairly used to running as far as the size and shape of that barrel and all that. But man, I sure have loved it. So yeah, now that I know I can see those comments, any questions you have, shoot those in here. I'll try to catch them as they come in. If I do miss one, I will definitely go back at the end and catch them on here live if we can. If not, I will do my best to answer those in the comments through text afterwards as well. So even if you're not on here live, be sure and drop those comments in there. And that's always helpful too. Helps with ideas for new videos. So if some questions I can answer pretty easy in text. Other ones are a lot better, a lot better to answer with a video where I can just show you what I'm talking about. Have I thought about doing an in-person class in Texas? That is a great question, and yes, I have actually thought about that. I've gotten some other interest in that, it sounds like, and I'm not opposed to going anywhere to do live classes. Here are a couple things with the classes. A drawing class, super easy. Super easy setup, and I can do that a lot of different places. Even just a swivel knife specific class, like doing cutting, that could be really easy. When we get into doing a full tooling class, just to talk this through with you and let you know what I'm kind of up against on some of this stuff. But when we talk about a full tooling class, I need to go somewhere that we can have a full setup. Meaning, I don't want like doing classes that are just demo classes, where you just sit there in person and watch me tool. When I do a live class, I like to be able to tool. We do some demo stuff, but then I want all of you to be tooling on your own stuff where I come around, we do a lot of one-on-one, but then it's real hands-on. So the problem with that though is having a setup where everybody has marbles to tool on and all that good stuff. So sturdy tables, marbles, something more that can host that, which there are definitely options and things to do, but there's a little more setup involved in that. And then right now, just as far as right now, just the whole state of the world and all that fun stuff, makes it kind of dumb to try to do any events. It makes it really hard right now. We've had some events that I can do, some that have been canceled, so it just really depends. But yes, in the future I would love to come down if let's see, if we had a live class in Texas, what location or kind of area do you think would be good? My thought about doing one, my first thought, just because of some other ideas and options that I have going, is possibly like around the Weatherford area, which I think should be pretty good for travel for a lot of people, but I don't know. We'll probably do like a whole run through Texas, do a couple different places or something, who knows. But yeah, anywhere, if you guys want some live classes, all about it. I've done quite a few up in Ellensburg, Washington. Miss Julie Bogger, she's got a great classroom up there. She teaches a lot of leather classes, does shap making and all sorts of stuff, but she has hosted me up there quite a bit. We've done a handful of classes up there. Really enjoy working with her up there too. But notice we swap that belt around. Now I'm going to start working my way back down, going the other direction, picking up on these leaves and this vine work that's flowing from the other direction here. So I'm always pulling these cuts back towards me here, and then I can fade out like that down in that vine work. Another thing to kind of notice too, there's not a lot of points in this particular pattern, which does make that kind of nice. But anywhere there is a point, I'm not actually connecting that with my knife cuts. So I'm holding those back to where I'll connect them when we bevel. Anywhere those lines are intersecting, I'm doing my best to hold that back and not really cut to create those different points. The reason being is for longevity in your project, especially something like this as a belt. It's going to get worn and bent and moved around a lot. If I was to, say right here on this point, actually cut that to a point and then bevel it, it's going to create a little spot that can lift up over time. And we don't want that, because it's gonna really take away that longevity and kind of just cheapen the overall look of your product as well. You got little points lifting up off of there. That doesn't make it look very good. Now, it's not gonna tear through or anything like that, but again, it's just like the edge of something fraying out. You don't want that happening. And that's the leather equivalent of something fraying out would be some of that leather loosening up and lifting up off of there. Alright, we're getting down here right to the end. Again, down here at the tip of this belt where it's gonna get some initials down here. So we have got everything else other than the initials cut in there. So able to roll that along. This bottom border kind of stops here because I'm not sure what I'm going to do tying that in with some initials there. Still need to draw that in. But that's our first step in tooling one of these tooled belts. It's getting that pattern cut in, and again, how that's going to finish off, just give you a look at it. This is one of the patterns out of the new Volume 2 book, available on the website there if you are interested in tooling that pattern. But all these patterns are going to come with a copy of, or a picture of where it's beveled, so kind of give you the direction on which way I bevel everything. And then here's what I'm after, is the finished tooling of that as well. And obviously you get the line arts in there to give you the actual pattern. But that right there is how that pattern is going to tool out. and finish out. And that's the one that we had just cut out there. Turn that over and line that up with you where that repeats at. So see, it's got quite the process to go through yet, but we're getting there, and that's that first step is cutting that in there. So I will check, see if we have any other questions, but some of the big questions that I get, one is on what knife I'm using. Two, on the leather, this is Herman Oak 8-9 ounce is what I tool my my belts on, and then I'll actually line that with a 3-4 ounce. But then the back of that is taped with a clear packing tape, and that's to prevent the stretching and distortion as we're tooling that. Oh, Hunter, you're getting ready to buy both the books. That's awesome. Appreciate that. Nick, is there a kit you would recommend for getting started for beginners that includes most of what you'd need for this kind of work? So a lot of the tools that I'm going to be using when you see me on these videos are definitely more than just the beginner kit tools. However, there is a beginner's tooling kit that I would recommend for just starting out. Kind of test this out, see if you like it. That's going to be through Weaver, but I do like that kit they have. There's also some add-on tools that I do with that as well. So I believe, trying to think on what album that's in, but there is, I do have a video that I did for Weaver that goes through those tools and which ones I recommend to add on to there as well. But it gives you a swivel knife, which the swivel knife you get in that kit is going to look a little different. That's the beginner kit swivel knife, but I mean, you can see it's not a super high quality knife, but it, man, for I don't even know the cost on it, 40-50 bucks, you get that whole kit with it's like 6 or 7 tools plus a knife. But I do recommend adding on like a steep bevel from there. Again, they have an inexpensive one that is going to get close to a better result than the big flat one that comes with that kit. But we'll do some more videos too. I've been talking about coming out with a pattern book with patterns just specifically kind of that fit those tools even better to help you on that way getting started with that as well. So check for that video that I have on there. It talks about the beginner kit tools, so that would be a good one for you to watch. And I do not have a video on buck stitching yet, but we will. Yeah, I can add some buck stitching to the list. I actually have a belt coming up pretty soon with buck stitching, so I can work on doing that. Working on some knife sheaths, but watch bands. Right on, yeah, knife sheaths. I think especially down where you're at, Hunter, are probably super popular. Excellent. Well, I appreciate you guys being on here, taking time to watch with me. Again, this is kind of fun. New first time going live on YouTube. So if you like going live here, be sure and like and subscribe. Let me know. And we'll try to do some more videos on here as well. So appreciate all of your guys' support. Anytime that you like, subscribe, and share stuff out there, that really helps. Lets kind of all the algorithms know that we're producing content that's worth watching. So anyhow, I appreciate you guys, and we will see you on here next time.